Nothing to smile about.
Hey, look at the conditions of our police stations.
Manze, bro.
There's nothing to smile about.
Look at our schools.
There's nothing to smile about.
Shocking. Look at our healthcare sector. Nothing to smile about.
There. Yeah? But anauliza, how can the government play so many games?
Exactly.
How can a nation be living like this where everyone got a screw face?
I don't understand, bro.
Umelamba ndimu, yani kila mtu amejam. Akwa mtu there's nothing to smile about. Akwa mtu ana smile. Na ule na smile anaonekana ni kama anatucheza, unaona?
And yet our leaders wanafikiria vitu tu ziko sawa.
Oh yeah.
Guys, good morning. Karibuni sana to the second hour of this amazing show. Remember, you're Africa's #1 audiovisual reggae and dancehall station. Nobody can stop reggae. 104.5 in Nairobi, Mombasa 98.7, Nyeri 98.8, Meru 107.1, Kericho is 106.2. And of course, right about now we are so excited because we have Philip Etale, ODM Communications Director. It's all about state of the nation. Karibu sana, Mr. Philip Etale.
Thank you very much.
Weekend najua ilikuwa refu. What stood out for you?
Mambo mengi. But they have been down with a bout of malaria for about a week.
Oh, pole sana.
I just got up on Friday.
Ah, nice.
So, a lot of things have been happening when I was bedridden.
Hey, let me tell you, malaria kwanza ukipata at a certain age, inakuanga noma sana. Malaria is intense.
Yeah.
Umepiga raundi sana, ulikuwa out.
Around mwenda, pale.
Yeah.
But I thank God I'm back to my health.
Good to have you back.
Yes, Sante.
So, kuna a lot that we're going to be talking about. Tukiangalia kwa magazeti, we talked about apparently the saying on the Standard, Gachagua is running out of options. And I'm saying over here, government clears Raila's path to AUC submission ready. We're also seeing over here, parents anxious over Gen Z fever as schools close. Yeah, the August break has renewed fears that students might get caught up in the protests or even pushed to participate. And I'm seeing here, Ruto, Gen Z moment, a wake-up call to all on good governance. On the Daily Nation, anything else? Let me see. Wanasema red flags in Adani, JKIA deal, Mira auditors 2018 concerns. What else do we need to talk about over here?
Masoja, panezo ya Kenyan police battling Haitian gang.
Oh, sasa ndo ile sasa.
Wameanza.
But nilicheki barbecue, apparently the current prime minister alisema anataka kuongea na barbecue alisema oh yeah, okay fine, ceasefire, nimekubaliana nayo. So what is this deal about gang battle? I said the Kenya police exchange fire with 400 Mawozo gang.
Now ni Mawozo gang. I'll see wale wote. 400. Bro, you see, afu mile as a wake up African man.
Yeah.
Ni blanda sana. Ni heri wa bonge. Unanishika?
Yeah, of course.
Because pale miki tumi naona blacks killing blacks.
Bro, Raila alisamanga dialogue is the way to go.
What were reason?
Reason. And then over here I'm seeing scramble to cash in on Gen Z wave. Over 20 applications for name reservations have been made to the office of the registrar of political parties with eyes on the 2027 polls. Yeah, so I heard that there's this the couple of Kenyans who are out there wanataka kuanza party ya mavijana ya Gen Zs. Now let's start this conversation. Of course, my guys, umesikia Philip Etale is in the building, ODM Communications Director. Now, unajua, let me speak for myself, Bwana Philip. I've been thinking about this thing kutoka yani sijui niseme when. I think about 2 weeks now. Is Raila a traitor, bro? Is he the new watermelon in town?
Thank you. This is a $1 million question. But I will answer with just one word.
Kenya shilling.
No, he is not. Twende kule nyuma miaka ya zamani ile ambayo nobody could dare challenge President Daniel Arap Moi. Me, I was born in 1979, so I grew up knowing Moi as the president. In fact, we used to refer to other presidents in the region, Moi wa Uganda, Moi wa Tanzania, because we thought Moi was the name of a president. You know?
Wow.
Yes.
Interesting.
So he stood up to him alongside others who have fallen, but he remained standing because of his resilience and determination kuna kwamba Kenya is freed from despotism, from bad governance, and that people adhere to the rule of law. Never in his life has he betrayed anyone, not even his own family. In fact, most of the time, Raila went against even the father kupigania haki ya Wakenya. Sometimes the dad could tell him, no, that is dangerous, and you say, no, if it's about the people of Kenya, it's about a free Kenya, I'm ready to die for it. He did it. So anyone calling him a traitor, a conman, or what, those are just people who are seeking relevance and cheap publicity. I've never seen Raila con anyone. I've never seen Raila Odinga betray anyone. And he cannot be a Judas Iscariot as he's being portrayed today. At 80 years, he's 79. Next year he'll be 80 in a couple of months. He has fought for this country. He has done a lot for this country. He has laid the path for the freedoms that we enjoy. Izima freedom of expression, the free press ambayo tuko nayo saizi, ila ambayo unakumbuka back in the day, a media house ingejaribu kufanya when the airwaves zilikuwa opened up, unakumbuka Royal Media ilibomolewa kabisa, kila kitu, all the transformers, transmitters, zikakuwa vandalized na serikali. Then it was the Communication Authority of Kenya. He stood up and fought for that. When Standard Media was raided back in the day, I think it was 2005, wakina Artur Magarian and Artur Sagarshian, he is the only politician who stood for the rights of the journalists of this country. When Mama Lucy Kibaki invaded the Nation Media Group in the wee hours of the night, ungodly hours, because one journalist had written something about the president, amemuita Mr. Kibaki, akaenda pale akavamia. Yes, the only person who stood up to the government and spoke truth to power was Raila Amolo Odinga. And I'm pretty sure the younger generation, the small ones now who are on the streets, which is good, they're doing a good job. They have reawakened this country. Walikuwa bado wadogo. They were still toddlers, others were infants. They wouldn't know the kind of struggle Raila has been through. Can you imagine being detained without trial for close to 9 years?
Without trials.
Umenyimwa hadi nafasi ya kwenda kumzika mamako. Can you imagine? Mimi Philip Etale, when my mother died in 2014 January, I cried like a baby. You can imagine how Raila felt akiwa pale kwenye korokoro na amenyimwa nafasi ya kwenda kumzika mamake, Madam Mary. You see? He has been through a lot. Kule korokoroni, ukiona Raila anapanguza machozi kila saa kwenye his left eye. It's not because that sijui nini analia. He was hit with a blunt object, ikamuumiza.
What?
So ili affect sana jicho lake mpaka saizi. So unapata watu wanamchekelea, Raila analala mkutanoni. Sometimes usione simba amenyesha ukafikiria ni paka. Na what I'm trying to say, that even as we start the struggle to liberate this country, he has been there. The second liberation, a lot of his comrades died. Others were maimed. Wengine sasa wamezeeka sana and they are no longer in active politics. People like Mheshimiwa Koigi wa Wamwere, they are no longer in active politics. Kina Paul Muite. Those are the people who are there back in the day.
True.
But if you look back kwa miaka ya 90, in the most vibrant parliament of Kenya, the 7th parliament, that was 1992 to 1997. 1992 I was in standard 7. So, but as a student of history, I used to love reading and watching news about Kenyan politics. So I used to follow a lot. I would say most of his comrades, including the late George Anyona, the late George Nthenke, the late Henry Obuocha, the late Martin Shikuku, and we have Martha Karua, we have Charity Ngilu, Dr. Muhisa Kitui, Mr. Kreatu Murungi, and others wao ndio walikuwa who put the government on toes. Every minute the government did something ambayo haikuwafurahisha wa Kenya. Those are the people who could stand up to the government and say no. I vividly remember I was in Standard 7, I think that year, 1992, when there were chants of no reforms, no budget. And Musalia Mudavadi was the Minister for Finance, a young Musalia Mudavadi then. He had difficulties presenting the budget estimates in Parliament. Kelele zilikuwa mingi. Speaker Francis Koisai Ole Kaparo was seated in the speaker's chair. Anajaribu zile zake za order. Baka na run horse, lakini hazikufanya kazi. That's when we had a parliament, a vibrant parliament that one would say, indeed, Kenya has matured democratically and politically. But now, coming down kwa miaka ya leo, we have a mixed parliament, a parliament that has politicians who believe in the cause and politicians who want to satisfy their egos and stomachs. Back in the day, you would not bribe a member of parliament. Today, I'm told even 20,000 shillings inaweza peanwa kwa choo tu nenda upitishe hii bill. We would not be where we are today if our parliament was woke. Kwamba when the Gen Zs realized that the draconian finance bill, let alone ile 2023 ilipitishwa kimangoto
ilipita kimangoto,
walipush mpaka ikapita, because MPs walikuwa wanaitwa kama rubber stampers, that this is, it is what it is. Mutadu, we have the numbers, especially the braggadocio MPs from the Kenya Kwanza administration. Walikuwa memea pembe sana. We would not be where we are today if we had systems that listen to the cries za wananchi. Wakati waliona vijana wameanza kwenda street wanasema hii finance bill ni mbaya, inatunyanyasa, we are not going to have a country if this thing is passed in its original form. A reasonable leader who swore before a magnitude of Kenyans and foreign leaders, angesema, I've heard the cries. Can we have this bill withdrawn? We look into the issues that are being raised by these young Kenyans, the Gen Zs, and other Kenyans who are raising concerns, na tuweze kurekebisha where we can, then we take it back to parliament. Instead, what happened? Ile kimabavu lazima ipite, kaende. You saw what happened. The first ever incident to raid Parliament of Kenya, invading the Parliament of Kenya by citizens. That alone imeua ile confidence ambayo Kenyans wako nao kwa the current parliament. True. If it was in a mature democracy, this parliament will not be sitting today. They would have said, Kenyans have lost confidence in us. Wacha tuende nyumbani, we seek re-election, turudi tena, we rebrand and then come back to this house. Yes. But because we are in a country, this is Africa, and Africa, we have to do things the African way. Wacha sisi tuendelee kufanya. The same people ambao walikuwa nasimama mbele ya umma wakati Gen Z walianza kudemonstrate, wanaanza kusema hawa ni vijana tu from posh homes, wanakuja na Uber with iPhones in their hands. Saa 7 ikifika wanaenda KFC wanakula kuku. In fact, they promoted KFC. Right now sales za KFC ziko juu sana. Zilipanda. Thanks to such reckless statements from insensitive leaders. People who do not want to listen. They were full of power. Baka wamekuwa so
drunk and walijisahau. Wakaona kwamba hawa,
this just a passing cloud, just a passing cloud. Nona.
You see? Ai Buddha.
These politicians are the reason we are where we are today.
True.
Sorry to say, even the Attorney General then, my good friend J.B. Muturi, although he later confessed that the president doesn't listen to his advice, because I would say yes, the William I know, he's one man who listens to himself.
Okay.
Atakaa hivi akusikize aseme wewe ni fala huyu hakuna kitu ananiambia. You see, I'm not saying that's what he says, but the way he dismisses people's ideas, opinions and views. A good leader is he who sits down even with the smallest of the people in society. How did Moi survive for 24 years? He used to sit down even with the illiterates, the unschooled,
right,
like Mzee Mulu Mutisia, Mzee Ezekiel Baringetunyi. He would sit down even in people who are schooled, ili wamwambie, this is the way to go. And can you imagine, mimi nilikuwa najiuliza siku moja, Horezo alikam tukua primo Mzee Moi,
mkatoka nyinyi wote,
tumetoka nje tunamwimbia, tumenunua madame tubaya viatu mpya, we were looking smart, my friend. Tukwa smanyo bana,
Tuklezea
na ka flag tunaimba. Then just from nowhere anataja jina, president akiongea anaita jina la chief.
Anajua di chief huko.
Unacheki wapi chief Kevo? Naona chief anasimama anapiga salute na kofi nyingine kama bakuli hivi. Imepigwa pasi kiatu imebrush mpaka unajiona. So do you know why?
Those were the days. That's Kenya.
See that he knew the chief. And that's why people respected the provincial administration.
Correct.
Chief akipita watu walikuwa wanasimama. Bendera ikishukishwa pale kwa chief camp, unasimama. Because the president was in touch with the masses. Before aende Gachie, alikuwa amepigia PC wa Central, PC amepigia DC, DC amepigia DO amemwambia chief wa hiyo area anaitwa Kenothia, assistant chief anaitwa Kama. Yes. So wana brief president beforehand. President amantikio mpaka na cram. So anakuja Chief Kenothia, sitaki kuona wadodo wakigunywa bombe.
Yes sir.
Yes. Watu wanasema,
mko tu price.
Baka Moi anajua chief.
Manze.
You see? That is how you rule.
True
man.
Because you get to know what people want. Absolutely. And what people know. So you must know their leader. Saizi ukiambia Ruto, hata DCC wa Lumakanda, where I come from in Lugari, anaitwa nani? Hajui.
I mean, come on. Maybe anajua.
He doesn't know him.
Yeah, sure.
Yes, he doesn't know him or her.
But Philip, I wanna jump in there. That's I mean, that's brilliant. Umetupatia an exact history hapo hivyo, na umetupatia reference point of how a leader should be. That's cool. Raila is a leader who has been respected for the longest time ever. In fact, hii constitution yetu progressive. It's because of him. Mambo ya multipartism, nini. There's so many things, good things that Raila has brought to our country. But umesema kitu fiti, a leader has to have his ear kwa ground. Ground inasema the worst thing that Raila ever did, one of, I guess, or maybe no, I don't know, whatever, but kitu yenye likasisha wase sana ni history handshake. Especially if you look at whatever happened between Raila and Uhuru. Some people say, okay, fine, it'll destabilize country, but kulikuwa na too much corruption. Kenyans are outrightly against handshake. Come 2024 now, serikali ya Ruto iko hapa hivi, and we're seeing signs of Raila shaking Ruto's hand. If at all hata labda wajashake, but there's signs, right? What would lead to Raila actually shaking Ruto's hand? Now Wakenya anajua very well that Wakenya are against this thing. In fact, Gen Zs, the reason they're out there is because they're saying opposition yenyewe hata haifanyi kazi fiti. You know what I mean? So you're saying Raila understands the ground, but at the same time, the Gen Zs don't want him to shake Ruto's hand. In fact, we're seeing a bunch of ODM leaders wameenda sasa work na Ruto in the name of being a CS. So what's the disconnect? What really inspires Raila to shake the government's hand when the government in itself is outrightly unpopular, hawafanyi kazi vile inafaa? what's Raila's thinking behind this brotherhood with Ruto? I mean, paka sasa watu wanasema looks like Kalonzo ndo amesimama imara peke yake.
Well, unajua siasa, dynamics za politics ya Kenya saa hizi ni tofauti. And if you have read the book by former MP for Kilifi South, Bahari constituency then, Joy Hamisi, about the politics of betrayal, utafahamu the kind of politics that is at play katika Kenya saa hizi. You know, in 2022, and I'm going to be very frank and blatant here, 2022 tukicampaign, Raila made 1 million trips to the mountain. Hadi kafika time akapewa kiatu na Sabina Chege. Itakusaidia kupanda mlima. That mlima haukupandika. It was so slippery. Unafika pale juu unasikia baridi, unateremka chini mbio sana. Kumbe these guys had their hidden card. They had seen President Ruto kwamba yeye, then he was a deputy president, kwamba sasa yeye ndio the only savior wa the people of the mountain. Mimi nakumbuka tukiwa katika campaign trail, tuko Kisii. The next day tunafaa tuende Kakamega. Kidogo mnaambiwa sasa kesho turudi Murang'a. Can you imagine, tuko on the road umetoka Kisii mbio kuja Murang'a, tumefanya rally. Sasa tunaambiwa sasa kesho mteremke Kakamega. Imagine how we used to get tired. Yani munaenda south, kidogo mnarudishwa north mbio sana.
Na bado mnarudishwa tena south muendelee kule.
Because Baba really wanted the vote at the mountain. He wanted that vote because the then president Uhuru Kenyatta told him, "Hii mountain tutakupatia kura." So these guys took advantage of the situation. Wakanza, every day wanaunda rally meeting, town hall meetings. But then there was never, very few rallies, but most of the meetings were town hall meetings. In the name of kupandisha mzee mlima. Now, fast forward 2024. The same person who used to insult Mama Ngina Kenyatta, the Kenyatta family, anaita Ruto majina, is the same person now saying, trying to reach out to my brother Uhuru Kenyatta, tukae chini tuongee. Baadaye tuambiana ukweli. Sasa Uhuru amekuwa saint. Because that person has realized in Mount Kenya wanaita Udhamaki. Udhamaki is still with Uhuru Kenyatta. He's still the kingpin of Mount Kenya. How do I get his blessings to endear to the people of the mountain? Sasa ndio ameanza kusema, now we are in talking terms, sijui nini, vitu kama hivyo. That is politics of betrayal. And I would say, if anybody understands political science, if mimi na wewe ni marafiki, blossom friends, then a third party comes, anaanza kuchukua wewe bila mimi kujua, in the name of weakening me and making me look like a bad person, I will react. Now you get the gist of the story.
Wow, brilliant.
Now,
brilliant.
Yes. So, siasa, we cannot have politicians who use their hand to eat na wameficha kijiko chini ya meza. You have to choose. You want to be you have to have sanity when it comes to table manners. Ama unataka ukwetu uncouth like the old African man ule wa zamani wa 1960s.
Hold it right there. Bwana Philip Etale, Communications Director, ODM. When we come back, bado hii vibe ina go down. Naenda kusoma hizo comments hapo hivyo kwa social media. It's looking crazy.
Go down.
I like what Bwana Director has explained to us. You know, hii politics ya betrayal inafanya sasa baba na make decisions zingine. Kind of seems unpopular. Yeah. But where does Gen Z come in? Where do they fit in kwa hizi variables zote?
Yes.
You know?
Onu wa kutrigger, Kev.
Yeah?
Spark.
I mean,
Sing
is,
his part.
is Gen Z the new opposition? Is that what we're saying? Aya, tunarudi na bit, guys. Shikilia hapo. Don't move. It's 7:36.
This is the Modern Vibes on Vibes Radio.
Just a passing glance. Kev, umesema hii track maziko na a lot of similarities to our situations hii with regards to vile my youth wanna go about maneno ya, you know, the quote unquote revolution. You know, the by the way, guys, we also have the one and only Philip Etale. He's the communications director, ODM. Now, when you look at how the youth are going about maneno ya fighting for the soul of Kenya, the way Kasmuel Makouri alisema, you know, opposition wanasema they're doing a better job than the opposition when it comes to, you know, just freeing Kenyans, liberating Kenyans from the shackles of doom by politicians. But kuna watu wanasema what Raila found out, what ODM Azimio found out, is that you Gen Z guys are not serious about this leadership thing. So we are coming in. We are the ones who are gonna lead this conversation, your dialogue. So we'll step in and talk for you guys. We'll talk on your behalf. Kwa sababu mnasema hamutaki leadership. Oh, so you leadership, formless, faceless, all these other things. Is that narrative true that ODM Azimio, no, specifically ODM took advantage of whatever is going on in the country? Now Gen Zs, and now they've I guess stepped in. Now they are the leaders of the Gen Z movement. Is that true?
Not at all. Wajua, the issues the Gen Zs have been fighting for, they have been pushing for vehemently on the streets. And I want to say it's very sad that we've lost quite a number of our young Kenyans who had just turned out to protest and say no to bad leadership and bad governance, bad policies that are being imposed on the people of Kenya by the Kenya Kwanza administration. It's very sad that we lost them. Some were shot at close range. Others were strangled, I don't know, wakatupwa katika mabwawa, unapata mtu ameoza. You know, it's very sad. Even remembering the words of President Ruto, that never again under my watch will people disappear and bodies found in Rivayala. Now, Rivayala has been shifted to quarries in Juja, where Denzel Omondi was found lifeless, his body swollen, imekunywa maji, imemeza maji. You see, such kind of stuff. We are not, the issues that Gen Zs have been raising, and they continue raising, are the same issues that Raila Odinga, ODM, Azimio, even before Azimio, have been fighting for. You remember last year, and I want to say something about the media. Last year, we were on the streets. I almost died in that Garia sound, the famous KDD.
Yeah,
and later, let me confess this. Later, a police officer told me, Etale, you are the target. Tulikuwa tumetumwa kutafute wewe. I freaked. I went to my house, nilikuwa nalia tu kwa bafu. Unajua mwanaume hizi lia in public. You run the water. Alafu naanza kulia. Why? Nimekosa wapi? I saw gari ya Raila imepigwa risasi karibu 9. We counted. Were it not that your gari ni bulletproof, right now Raila would not be alive. There would be no one to call a conman. There would be no one to call a traitor. There would be no one to call Musaliti. He would be dead because of the same issues that the Gen Zs are raising. They wanted to take out Raila because he was seen to be a stumbling block to what they were doing. And in a civilized society, such kind of things should not be happening. That anybody who goes on the streets, the only solution to that person is to neutralize. You take them out with a bullet. That is not leadership. That's despotism. Kwamba you want to show that wewe ndio uko na power, and that absolute power is all yours. We have come of age as a country. One thing I want to say about Gen Zs, they've done a good thing. Kwamba for the first time, I think hakutakuwa na wizi wa kura. because nobody will want to steal election, somebody's votes, akijua kwamba this is the wrath. Gen Zs watakumaliza. You will not steal election. Number 2, wanton corruption itapungua, because anybody who would want to steal and pala onyeshe public opulence vilako na saya 900,000 siju nini, when people are dying in Turukana of hunger, Kapedo watu wanakufa kwa sababu hata they cannot even afford a meal a day. Mama anapikia watoto wake wild fruits, and somebody anakuja amevaa koti anasema hii suit ni ya 600,000. Not in Kenya anymore. A lot of things are going to change. Kenya is going to change for the better, and we are going to have a leadership that is going to listen. Number 3, I want to say this about Gen Zs. We need to look at where the country has come from. Mimi, I think I was the group yetu when you to the 79, we are the last, I think 1918 to the last of Generation X. Ile innovators, Nimeona maneno from where I sit. My past life as a journalist, I've seen a lot. In fact, I'm doing my book, my autobiography.
Oh, that's nice.
I'm penning down everything that I've seen, that I've heard, and what I've witnessed.
You better launch it here with us.
Of course.
Inshallah, God willing. Tuombe Mungu atupe uhai.
Hiyo time mnamaliza hii shule kwa number 1.
Looking forward.
I want to say Robert Heinlein, ambaye alikuwa American author back in the day, alisema a generation which ignores history has no past, no future, and no future. You know it.
Mimi wangamsomi.
Thank you. A generation that ignores history has no past and no future. I look at some of our friends, the Gen Zs. Wakati ambapo me, I'm a political communicator.
Right.
Besides being a journalist, working for a political party, Mimi, I do what you call political communication. There are things I post on X or Facebook or wherever. The amount of insults ambazo zinatoka kwa hawa vijana, quite unpalatable, using unpalatable language, a language that has never been used by any revolutionalist in the world. Even Adolf Hitler hakutumia matusi kama hayo ku revolutionize Italy. Germany. Benito Mussolini never used such kind of insults to revolutionize Italy. Napoleon Bonaparte hakutumia matusi. Even during the Trump uses.
Did.
Trump does it. The Arab Springs. I was reading. I think I was the first Kenyan kuwa na kitabu kinaitwa Revolution 2.0. Ambacho kiliandikwa na Wahel Gonim. Is an Egyptian. Ambapo amesema the power of the people is greater than the people in power.
True.
When it was launched in 2012, Mama Raila Odinga was in the US, and she bought it and purposely brought it to me in 2012 when it was still fresh. Nimesainiwa na huyo wani mgohi. Now, katika hicho kitabu nimesoma, and when Gen Z started the movement, I went back to reread the book. There is something that caught my eye about the author of the book amesema. In a revolution, there must be a head. And during the Arab Spring, we had our leadership that would guide us. And was so strategic. In a revolution, you don't reveal your plans to the masses. You strategize and execute them discreetly. But now tunaona kwamba tunaambiwa we are leaderless, we are faceless, we are tribeless. Indeed, we want to detribalize Kenyan politics. Tribal politics ya Kenya imetumaliza sana. Let's detribalize it. But when you say you are headless, then some of you appear on TV. You are appearing as who?
Supposedly talking for other ones.
Yes. So you are the leaders.
Ni hivyo.
But again, he says in that book, In a revolution, you don't appear on television, talk shows, radio talk shows to reveal your strategy. Your opponent or your enemy will read your moves and pounce on you.
So I wanna jump in there. This is brilliant knowledge you're dropping, my brother. Value
Keep
for
on
Kenyans.
dropping, damn.
So are we saying that the way I'm gonna call out individuals,
Yes.
people like Boniface Mwangi, people like Kasmuel Makore, who's now
Somehow the
the leader, the face. In fact, let me just say the face. All these things are the way they're engaging with the media, they're exposing themselves, and because of that, chances are high this whole Gen Z revolution, I'm a wave. Chances are high to not be sustainable. Let's just be realistic. Is that what you're telling us?
Yeah, I want to say something about Gen Z. There are people who have hijacked the ideology of the Gen Z.
Correct.
The Gen Zs are supposedly to have been born between 1995 to 2012.
Yes.
The oldest Gen Z should be about 27 years now. How old is my brother Boniface Mwangi? There are politicians who are beneficiaries of the huge salaries that the Gen Zs are fighting, ambao saizi wanajifanya now they are crying holier than thou, kwamba they are with the Gen Zs. Sorry to say, there are people who have served as governors. There are people who have served as the country's chief justice. There are people who have served in big capacities in the country. They drew salaries and allowances without questioning. Walikula. Now waligula. Now, they are now joining the Gen Zs wanasema, we should fight, MPs are being paid a lot of money. What? We need to rationalize salaries of public servants. When you are in office, why didn't you raise alarm when you used to draw salaries and allowances? Ambazo Gen Z saizi wanapigana.
Brilliant question.
Let's not shed crocodile tears or dance on the graves of the young children who are shot by police.
What are Gen Zs left with? Because when they're listening to you right now, they're saying, damn, oh my God, it's like we're fighting a losing battle over here. Should we start our own party?
The moment Gen Zs declare that they are leaderless, they are faceless, they are tribeless, they are, I don't know what, so many less. That's when they were hijacked by these sharks.
So what options are Gen Zs left with?
They need to go back to the drawing board, stop this
Faceless thing.
Media appearances, strategize discreetly. When you are going to the streets, tumia ile method ambao walitumia ya kwanza ile kama ni TikTok. You see, nendeni pale street, carry your bottle of water. But again, I want to fault the political class. These are our children. By the way, my firstborn son is 20 years old. He was born in 2004.
Good stuff.
He's a third year student at the university.
Yeah.
And I would say, when somebody, a police officer who has been trained on how to handle civilians and gets trigger happy with somebody who is not armed, anampiga risasi mtoto mdogo who has many years ahead of them, unamuua. Now, then there are politicians, because they have stolen a lot, they want to hire goons to come and neutralize these Gen Zs when they're doing their thing. A listening leader is a wise leader. If a leader would listen, like right now, students are going to close schools. If I were the president of the Republic of Kenya, I would go on national television. I will speak passionately about the ideology that is Kenya. Although he's tainted, I'm sorry to say, because of the past things that they have been doing in their government. But there's always time ya kujiri invent. Urudi useme, I'm sorry. There's nothing wrong with somebody, with a man saying, I am sorry.
Correct.
I am sorry. I apologize on behalf of my government for the past mistakes and on behalf of all the governments that have been there before.
Yeah.
Then you start afresh. somebody can listen to you.
Mheshimiwa Ana, as you know, time is running so fast. The main question also watu wanauliza huko nje is it's almost as if Raila anatumiwa kusanitize this government and all the evils that they've done, you know, tone down the temperature. So let's call Raila, give him something small, even some I've been reading a blog over here. People calling Raila a political deal maker, a political businessman. What are your thoughts about this whole thing of Ruto getting Raila so that, you know, atulize inchi, but really he's not trying to work for the people and, you know, sort out our problems?
Raila is a statesman. If you've read the book Raila Odinga, the Enigma. Itakueleza mambo mengi sana. And if you read his book ambayo aliandika in the run up to the election, The Flame of Freedom, utapata kwamba Raila is one man who has seen a lot. By the time he was born in 1945, having been born in a political family, a family ya Mzee Jaramogi ambayo ilikuwa highly political, akakuwa vice president, and he used to work with the father. He has seen what the father has been through in 1967, after serving as vice president for only 2 years. Anaanza kuwa mistreated. And remember, Jaramogi Oginga Odinga is the same man whom wazungu, the colonial masters, the governor wa hizo siku, Humphrey Slade, alikuja akamwambia, we want to hand over power to you. Because he believed in structures, and he knew our natural leader ambaye amekuwa kiongoza hii movement yetu up to where we are is Mzee Jomo Kenyatta. Alisema, no, I cannot take up this position. We have to wait for our leader to come out of prison, then he takes up the position. Ingekuwa kiongozi mwingine angesema,
very fast,
this is the opportunity I've been waiting for.
Yeah.
Angekuwa president. But because of that selfless interest that he had at that time, and he saw Kenya, akasema, Kenya is greater than me. Why should I take power when there's somebody who was ahead in front of me, pale mbele, ambaye anaweza fanya hiyo kazi, mimi nimfuate nyuma. At the right time, I'll be the president. So, having been through, seen all that, and the humiliation the father went through, the detention the father went, house arrest, babake alikuwa house arrest for years, you see. Yani saizi ndio mnataka kusema kwamba ati nao Raila, kwa sababu ati sasa yeye ni mtu ambaye anaweza hongwa tu na pesa kidogo ili aweze you know, he has seen a lot. He believes that if we shed blood in this country, what next? And the question that we are asking the Gen Zs, what is the end game? And if you are leaderless, if Ruto yields to your...
I have to cut you short. I think that's how we're going to wrap up. What's the end game for Gen Zs? Thank you so much.
Yes.
Honorable Philip Etale, ODM Communications Director.
Thank you.
This thing is going in so fast, boy. Good morning. Twende kazi.
Rebels and reggae heads, start your day the MVP way. Where you are the MVP, no negative vibes. Every morning.
And now for our feature presentation.
All right, karibuni sana bana. It's 7 minutes after 8. This is the morning vibes with Kevin Kevo Badman. And tumebabika sana because number 1 is a reggae Monday. Mazema Tuesday nitakuwa noma. And lakini due to public demand,
watu wamesema
director atulie kidogo.
Tafadhali.
Bwana director,
tafadhali mpatieni time.
5 more minutes with not even 5, about maybe we can give 7 more minutes up over 7 minutes with director of communications ODM, that is Bwana Philip Etale. Na sasa iko kuna swali, if you have a comment or any kind of reaction, umesikia vibe yetu, unaweza piga simu. Remember, it's 0719012700. Guys, once again, we have ODM communications director Bwana Philip Etale. So you know, I'm sure you've understood what he's been talking about. Umecheki nini na happen kwa gazeti. The Standard is saying Gachagua running out of options, and then with the Daily Nation they're saying Ruto turns to usual strategy. But kituli stand out in the previous hour when you were talking to Bwana Philip, one thing that stood out for me, Kev, nilisema the biggest detriment kitu ile sasa iliangusha majenzi sana moving forward by the way ni historia ya kukosa kuona leader and a lack of strategy and a lot of media engagement. Tunaji-expose sana. I mean even in sports,
Kev, mimi nakuangalia tu hivi anajua.
Anacheki game plan yako hata kwa sports.
In fact,
yeah.
Sure sport. Hiyo Gunziwa aliingia.
Oh really?
Sio na strategy yenyewe vile
mnaika hapo poster mnasema mnaenda kukua huku sio nini. Exactly. All right, 0719012700. My guys, piga simu right about now as we continue with this conversation. Let's go to Likoni. Oti, good morning bro.
Hey, Kevin.
Yo, karibu sana Oti. You good?
Nashukuru mazee kote hapo mheshimiwa wetu leo Mr. Philip Etale.
Amegoteka na kusikiza fiti.
Sasa kitu cha kwanza nilikuwa nasema hivi.
Yes.
Kwanza wacha ninguzungulie Rao alafu nirudi niongee mambo na Gen Z pia.
Correct.
Unajua Rao, ule mzee bro, chenye mzee anaonanga sasa hivi utakuja kuona labda 5 years to come.
Umesema mzee ni vision.
Kwanza ule mzee achana naye bro, ule mzee mimi ndio kuna wakati wana mboma lakini kuna wakati huu mzee wana msupport utacheki.
Correct.
Kitu cha kwanza nchi hii hatuwezi kubali nchi ya fujo watu kumwaga damu kila wakati. Kwanza mzee anataka kwenda AU.
Yes.
Hakuna vile angeenda AU kuna Kenya ina ban. Tunacheki.
Oh, interesting.
Nchi mpaka kuwe na amani. Na kama na ule mzee pia ni kama kuna wenzake walikuwa kumkaranga pale kwa Simio. Especially mzee Uhuru Kenyatta. Unacheki.
Wewe pia unakubaliana na hiyo sentiment ya director?
Bro, mimi ni mwanasiasa na mimi naelewa siasa. Hata kabla director aseme hapo nilikuwa najua hizi vitu.
Na wewe ni member wa ODM pia?
Nilikuwa. I was.
Oh, it's okay.
Ulitoka. Oti.
Hata kidogo nimepumzika kidogo.
Otieno. Ulitoka.
Sasa huu mzee kuna vile jamaa alikuwa anataka kucheza lakini naye mzee akaona mbele yao.
Mzee ni mjanja.
Alafu acha nirudi kwa Gen Z.
Okay.
Gen Z niliwaambia kabisa wachukue kura.
Very very right.
2027 tuondoe jamaa kwa njia ambayo kidemokrasia, kwa njia ambayo tunatumia sheria.
Yes.
Hizi fujo za hapa na pale hazina maana. Na sasa hivi wangetaka vizuri wange draft ile zenye wanataka alafu wapelekee president. Tunaambia hizi vitu ndio tunataka na tumekupa mpaka next year, tunataka hizi vitu zifanyike kwa nchi yetu.
Oti, let me ask you, so your advice to Gen Z peer for now, maybe we need to just rally behind the opposition. We rally behind ODM for example. Even though unaona ni fiti because clearly hatuna leadership, hatuna party, young Kenyans. So what's the best way forward? Tukae na opposition, tukae ngangari. Opposition should back Gen Z's.
Kwani Kalonzo Musyoka anafanya nini? Wacha opposition wafanye kazi yao, Gen Z wafanye kazi yao.
Basi wewe Oti, basi wanasema Gen Z wanasema aje Otile? Wameambia president everything wanataka. Hakuna ile amefanya hadi wale makarao washiko wale wameonekana wakimada wasee, wale wamepatikana wakitumia nguvu excess. Hakuna ile amepeleka mahali.
Hiyo nayo lazima. Polisi ambao walihusika kuua vijana wetu ambao hawana makosa, hao wanastahili waekwe ndani sasa hivi. Maana ni makosa sana kuua vijana wadogo. Hiyo ni makosa. Yeah, wacha niachie hao wengine pia wachangie.
Thanks a lot, David.
Deviso.
Good morning, Kevoni. Aje Badman, vipi?
Niko fiti joka karibu. Kwaje King?
Niko salama na shukuru.
Tuko hapa hivi na Philip Etale manze, ndio ODM Communication Director manze, tunaongea State of the Nation. So far umesikia ile story tumejaribu kupiga.
What's your take bro?
Okay, kwanza ningetaka kusema hivi. Inasemekana they say you must stand to what you believe in.
Absolutely.
Or you fall for anything.
True.
Yeah. So when it comes to matters ya baba, unaona wakati alikuwa anapiga campaign na Uhuru.
Yes.
Mount Kenya ilimwambia vizuri sana. Don't hide behind Uhuru.
Wow.
We don't want to listen to Uhuru. Kuja wewe mwenyewe utafute kura, you personally, and that's hapo ndio Ruto alimpigia asubuhi na mapema. Ruto used to come himself huku mwenyewe. So people wanted to see Baba coming asking us for that kura. You know, Baba never did that. Baba alituma Uhuru. That time Mount Kenya hataki kusikia Uhuru. Unaona? So asiblame watu wa Mount Kenya. Na yeye ndo hako na masikio kwa ground.
Yeah.
They never listened to what people wanted. People were up to right now. Kuna mafano wa Baba hapa mimi naongea. Na muongea nao.
Kweli. Hata alitoa bado kura mingi sana hiyo century hiyo hii time kwanza hii time round.
Ile vile tu vile amesema hako na masikio kwa ground. And the same thing anafanya tena. The same mistake anafanya saa hii tena. Hana masikio kwa ground. wakati wa Uhuru alienda
alikapamba kwa masikio.
Baby Pendo akadai. Hiyo ilikuwa first thought yake ya kuingia hiyo government. Naona aliambo kama angefuata hiyo justice of Toi, bali watu wangenomse ni mjeni. Sasa yeye amedepite Rex Masai na group yake yote.
Okay.
Naona. So ndo kuniambia amesema baba alikatazwa kuzika madhake. So imagine mother Rex anasikiaje amezika mtoi wake.
It's quite sad.
Imagine wewe ndo unafaa kuzika lakini yeye wewe ndo unamzika. Alafu unasikia mtu anafaa kuwa akipigania hiyo the same kazi yake ile anafaa kufanya kwa nini opposition. Anaenda na salimia yule mtu aliwa wako.
But David, uliskele point yenye director alisema the politics of betrayal. Let's look at it in terms of siasa. For example, Philip alisema, when you have a situation where number 2 DP Gachagua is now talking to Uhuru Kenyatta chini ya maji, where does this leave Baba? Clearly Baba feels betrayed by Uhuru Kenyatta, so the only option, David, we're looking at this thing politically. So now the only option that Baba is left with is to shake Ruto's hand because he doesn't feel safe with Uhuru, quote unquote.
If you remember very well, wakati they had a dialogue. I think it was a conference in Bomas, and Ruto stood in front of all the MPs, and they used to walikuwa na mheko. Unakumbuka?
Yeah, exactly.
Alisimama akamwambia nini? I'd rather stand alone.
That's true.
And that stand out. You know, literally stand out kwa hiyo meeting yote. I'd rather walk alone than walk in a group.
Okay.
Yes, limpea kitu. Na baba bala asoma hiyo script. Yeye anabaiwa tu na kidogo, handshake, amepatiwa viti vya finance. Wacha nikwambia hata hizo pesa hiyo docket amepewa inamkaranga yeye mwenyewe. Hakuna pesa.
So I have to let you go. Asante sana David. Thanks man. We're running out of time. Bona director, as we wrap up this conversation, I only have one question. Alafu, you give your rallying call to the youth. Now, okay, actually you start, Kev.
Sindio? Jo, cheki, Mr. Philip as a communicator hapa hivi niko kunipeleka na rada hapa juu ya. Yeah, sorry for that. Cheki, kuna history ya Prezo vile alikuwa coast. Anasema the Gen Z hiyo movement ilikuwa wake up call. Afa anasema through the given opportunity to reorganize his administration to ensure inclusivity for the sake of harmony and development. Yet kwa grao hiyo story ya inclusivity na administration yake na harmony na development watu wengi wanafeel imekuikienda hivyo, lakini inclusivity si ile vijana wako wanaitisha kwa ground. Gen Z wako wanaitisha inclusivity, wanaongea story ya mambo ikuwe public, mambo ifunguliwe, tutumie constitution, watu wake ethnicity inatumika, watu wanatumia nini gani kwenda kuhoja kina nani, unake vitu kaa hizo ndo yeye hakuna hata moja lipelekwa, hakuna ile Ruto ameongea kuhusu. So on your take as a communicator, do you think the president manze anage the vibe iliko kwa ground?
I doubt. And if you've been following my posts on X, I've been very consistent. Kwanza, the reason why vijana walitoka nje ni kwa sababu ya ahadi za uongo ambazo president amekuwa akiwapatia wa Kenya. Jana katika ile town hall meeting na watu wa Pwani, he had the audacity ya kuzidi kuendelea na uongo. Kuambia mtu kwamba alivisit a village in Rift Valley uko Nandi, akapata kijana anasema anafanya for an international organization kwa AI. That's a blatant lie. Number 2, amesema ati kuna kazi ametafuta kule nje for this vijana na kwamba kupata passport itakuwa 1 week, then you don't have to pay air transport at serikali itakulipia. Huo ni uongo. How if 1 million youths saizi wapate kazi kule nje, for instance, or for example, that 1 million youth wamepata opportunities kule nje, will the government pay for their air transport? How long will it take for the government to do that? The process ya government, procurement process, nini, that process. Let's not fool our children. Let's be blatant with the truth. Nani said, Antonio Gramsci alisema, to tell the truth is revolutionary. Ukiyasema ukweli, you are revolutionizing that particular ideology. Make it real. Be the be truthful. Sema ukweli kwamba this is what I'm doing.
Correct.
This is what I'm planning to do. You cannot continue promising or making promises outside the provisions of the budget. Unaenda unasema mahali nimeleta shilingi milioni 800 za watu wa jua kali, wavuvi wa samaki, shilingi bilioni 1. Where is it in the budget? Where is it anchored in the budget of the 2024-2025?
Is the president on campaign mode?
That's the question. When will he settle? Awache kwenda juu ya roof ya gari kuongea, aanze kufanya tu public barazas za kawaida. Never did I see Mzee Moi hata Kibaki juu ya roof ya gari wakati in the middle of their term. Walikuwa nafanya public barazas. That's why we have Baraza Park in Garissa, Baraza Park in Mombasa, Baraza Park in Lodwar, where you go, sit down, have people come wakusikize unawaambia nini. Viongozi wajieleze. Alafu you'll respond. I remember when I was a journalist, television journalist.
Right.
Nilienda kucover President Kibaki. That was about 2005 hapo hivyo kule Kapsokoni in Mount Elgon. Then member of parliament, the late Serut, John Bomet Serut, akasimama, Mheshimiwa Rais, barabara kutoka Chwele kukuja Kapsokoni kwenda mpaka sijui wapi is not tarmacked. It has never been tarmacked. Tunataka utuweke lami. Barabara kutoka wapi sijui nini. Tunataka uweke lami. When the president rose to speak, alisema nimesikia mambo mbunge wenyu amesema, lakini haiko kwa budget ya mwaka huu.
Exactly.
Don't overpromise what you cannot fulfill, Mr. President. That's why the youth are getting enraged.
Director, we're running out of time. What's your rallying call to Gen Zs?
Gen Zs,
very briefly.
Be strategic. Number 1, you have failed in the first test ya kuregister chama chenu.
Wow.
You don't use the same thing that is causing jittery at Gen Z political party, Gen Z alliance, Gen Z. Be strategic. Get people who can strategize for you and get you a suitable name for your political movement, which you can easily register and become a political party. Mambo ya kutumia Gen Z, that one will not suffice. That one will not pass. That's advice to you. Number 2,
okay,
be a good listener and be good listeners. Also listen to the smallest of the voices. Whether you like it or you don't like it, listen to it and you'll build your revolution with whatever wisdom you'll have gotten from that word. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Bwana Philip Etale, Director of Communications, ODM. When we come back, we will have Honorable Richard Onyonka, Senator Kisii County.
So much again, ODM imesha kwa Ethiopia ndio UDM.
Hiyo ni mambo yako.
ODM is ODM. ODM is the biggest political party in Kenya, and it will never be a briefcase party. It will never be a briefcase party.
I like that.
This is the only party with offices in all the 47 counties in the country.
Correct.
And we have been consistent. Tumekuwa tukifanya elections, tumekuwa tukichaguana. We have strong branches, we have strong county coordinating committees, and we are moving forward. We are the only party that started the Disability League. We have a very strong Disability League with over 800,000 members.
Wow.
We have Youth League, we have Women League, and tunaendelea.
Nice.
ODM ni chama kikubwa.
Nice one. Asante sana guys. Hold it right there. I've got some Anguka Nayo. Wada Gliz. Alafu tukirudi, Honorable Richard Onyonka, Senator Kisii County is here. We will still further this conversation here, the state of the nation.
Vibes Radio, the soundtrack of the revolution.